All right. I think we're on.
Oh, we're rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling already.
Wow, you didn't give me a countdown or anything.
Nah, I just, it's gotta be organic. It's gotta be like, surprise.
Oh, I'm organic. Tried and true, baby.
You just microwave water. That's not organic.
So organic. So organic. Best way to get your tea consistent.
How's it going, everybody? This is my buddy Lucas, and he's my roommate and also one of my really good friends.
How's it?
We were like walking outside with Groot, and we're like, you know what? We gotta do a podcast. It was so nice outside.
Today's the day for it.
Today is the day.
Correction. I was laying in the grass with Groot, and then we started walking.
Yeah, I walked outside. I was like, what are you guys doing?
I try to make the neighbors uncomfortable.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They're probably already uncomfortable all the time with me.
But now we're running into them in public. They're seeing me in places. They're like, "Oh, you're the guy with his shirt off." And I'm like, "Wow."
Yeah.
I was like, there's other things too. Like,
Oh, yeah, I'm Aquaman. You know,
I also live there. It was funny.
No, it's funny when Stefano and I were walking around. One of the neighbors thought we were like gay.
Mm.
They're like, is that your partner? I was like, what? I guess he is a stallion. So.
Hey.
But hey, no judgmental there.
Think what you want to think.
Yeah, but hey.
Anyways, glad you're here. This is wild. First time doing this under the big lights.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like I'm talking to the whole world and nobody at the same time. Hey,
Shoot.
that made me feel better.
I know, there we
Appreciate
go. Had to break the ice.
That was Jack bringing me back to normality.
Had to make sure I got everything all there. But at least we got the sound check in.
Wiped it with the sleeve. He hit it with the mom tack.
Gotta be clean.
Wiped it with the sleeve. It's crazy. That's funny.
So what do you got on your book?
Anyways, what do you want to talk about?
Just getting started back again. It's been a while since I've done this. It's actually been close to exactly a year.
What?
And it's very, very good for me getting back to it because I definitely cleared out a lot of my head and everything last year.
Okay. So you took a break from it to clear your head?
That, and I was getting like a lot of acne. So I was getting kind of like self-conscious, putting myself on the camera.
Yeah.
And
what do you think that stems from? Like not wanting to be seen when you have acne?
Man, that's actually a good question. Just because it doesn't look like who I am exactly. I wasn't able to really shave so much, and I was like patching a lot of areas, and like when I was having like the acne, it was very cystical, so it was like mountains on my face, and I don't know, it's just a self-conscious thing.
Yeah, it definitely is a hit to like your self-confidence in my experience. I was just wondering if that was the same for you or what you think that's tied to.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just me constantly thinking that there's always something on my face. It's like when there's like people see like a bug on their face, but I feel like there's like a bug on my face, and they're like trying to scratch it off, and there's no bug there. But it's there.
Well, welcome back.
Then I was here like touching, and it was just like pop. You're like, oh. I'm like, that's not good. That's not good.
Hey, well, good to have you regardless. So.
Oh yeah, no, happy that you're my roommate and everything.
Here we are. We're doing it. Yeah. This is fun.
But what made you want to do a podcast?
Oh, well, I want to start one of my own soon, and I want to learn the ropes. And I think it's cool that you're doing it. Like, I don't even know much about it, but just the fact that you're actually doing it, right? I think that's
was doing it, but yeah.
Or was. But
yeah.
I think that's even more important than doing something well is to actually do it. Like, because you can think and think and think about something and never take that step. Like, that's one of my problems. I have all these ideas, right? Like 11 different things at once and all these sticks in the fire. And if you don't, like, focus on one little fire, then it just goes out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. Like, you already like committed, like you have the stuff, you've done it before, you've done these. I was like, that's neat. Regardless of if you're talking about things I'm interested in or like if I like it or not, it doesn't even matter. I was like, just because of the respect I have for somebody who's started doing something they wanted to do was enough where I was like, all right, let's hop on here, see what it's about.
Yeah.
You know?
like what got me into it was like people always told me like, oh, dude, you should start a podcast, like so many like random things. And it's not that I think it's not that I know a lot of random things. I just like talking to people. I think that's like the biggest thing, and asking people questions and kind of learning from somebody the whole entire time. And that's like the end goal of it. Like, I called it Jack Talks Back because I want everyone to talk back to the person and not just like, be like a wall and just take it in. Like you have everyone's got the opportunity to be able to say something. Yeah. I think that's like the biggest thing.
I think that's huge. I think you can learn something from everybody. I think that's, not forgotten, but it's definitely overlooked.
Yeah.
Where if you see somebody and they're like whatever in a different state of life than you, right? And like they're kind of shunned, and no one thinks they can learn something from them. And it's like, no, it's like no matter where they're at, like somebody has something to offer. And so it's a cool perspective to have for sure.
And that's like the biggest thing is because everyone's got so much value. And I want, like when I say I want everyone to have a voice, I think that's like when a lot of people feel like they're not heard and they can put themselves in the comments or just things like that, that you can be heard no matter what. And like if I can do it, they can do it. It's not it's not really that difficult. Like you just need an iPad or a phone and just use that to record and get a couple of lights.
Which everyone has.
Yeah.
By the way, like even people who are like struggling to eat on the corner still have an iPhone.
Yeah.
It's like, so there, when I kind of had a little period where I lived in the streets for a bit, and it's like everybody still had iPhones.
Yeah, no, that's the
like,
craziest thing.
Where are you going to go to charge your phone today? You know, like that was the thing. And I was like, dang. But, me too. I had an iPhone too. It's like that's how I still have my bank and like Venmo and stuff. I like just didn't have a place to stay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's so interesting. Like, what a weird world.
I know, like back in the day, like no one had a phone and they were homeless and stuff like that. They actually like wanted to get off the streets. Right. And then like with people nowadays having a cell phone, being on the street, it makes them so comfortable that they already pretty much have everything in the palm of their hands. They just need to go eat something.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting too is even that phrase, like living on the streets. Like if you actually spend a night on the streets, you realize like that's the most dangerous place. Like you're going to go anywhere but the streets. You're going to go to the woods. You're going to go to the beach. You're going to go to an abandoned building. Like you're not staying in the street. Like because that's where other dangerous people could be, or people who are in a tough scenario or haven't eaten or homemade drugs or whatever.
Yeah, you can't hide.
Too much unpredictability. I've had like so many things happen where it's like, oh, streets not the answer. Like we're gonna go somewhere else.
That's like the crazy thing, like especially like when someone does like a lot of drugs and everything like on the streets. I know you didn't do drugs, thank goodness.
Shout out, baby.
And but like then they don't even realize that because like they're just like they're in their own little world. And I can definitely kind of relate to those type of things from from my trials and errors and stuff like that. And I never did hard drugs, but like I always like wanted to keep on looking for some type of answer.
Yeah.
And the only answer I found was really God, and He was always like right behind me the whole entire time, and I didn't have to look for anything.
Yeah.
I was like, when people say you're chasing the dragon for something, like I'm like, what am I chasing?
Yeah.
Then you realize the dragon was that serpent, and the Bible is the devil, and like I should not be chasing that.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion.
That's it. No, that's interesting, and I see it a lot as an escape for people, and unfortunately, it's more affordable than a lot of like good food or water. Like if you have nothing, it's cheaper to just like go buy 2 beers and like get hammered and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And
because at least you feel something. You're
right.
all yeah.
And then like you can kind of numb it, right? And so then your mind shuts down. It's just a weird. Oof.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's very scary, and we're both very fortunate. I'm very fortunate for being like where I'm at and getting myself out of those situations and just like learning just to work hard and to keep on striving for the next thing. And that's why I'm happy that like I'm doing the podcast again now, because I'm like, I don't want to say I'm seeing myself evolve from last year, but they always say like you're growing and becoming a better person as time goes by. And as long as you're acknowledging the things that you're doing wrong and like things that that you want to do well at, you just got to keep on striving for those things.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's super important. It's like to try and be better every day. If people ever like question, sometimes people like shun even working out or like exercising. They're like, why do you do that so much? Or like, why do you not eat this? And I'm just like, well, I just want to be better and feel like every single day. If you're at a point where you have a roof over your head and you have water, it's like, then, and you have a job, or like you have this amount of free time, like why not devote it to making yourself better every single day?
Yeah. And I think the hardest thing is for a lot of people is like obviously being on their phones, because you waste so much time going on like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and you're just constantly scrolling. Then you realize that you were laying in bed for 30 minutes after you woke up just being on your phone, if not longer. And I started wondering like what can I be doing within that time to really better myself?
So much.
And like looking into things, and just like it's just so wild to me, because like having all those things off my phone now and seeing how much more time I'm saving. And when people will say like time flies by as you get older, and when I took all those things off my phone, like it doesn't feel like time's speeding up anymore. And like I'm finding so much, a little bit more time in work, and actually getting all of it done and not stressing out so much about it.
Yeah.
And like putting myself in like these groups, like the disciple group, and going to church, going to 2 churches twice a week. And, you know, like I find more time to be more accountable to the other things than instead of being on my phone, because there's no accountability on the phone. You just go on it.
Yeah, that is interesting. Do you have a regimented work schedule time for every day?
Yeah. So like my goal is I'm always logged in like at 9 a.m., but like I try to get to there like 8:30 a.m.
For yourself, or do you technically have to be logged in at a certain time?
You technically have to with my type of job. Because it says like on my business, it says I'm open at 8 a.m., but no one's going to call it 8 a.m. And but I always put myself in between. I make sure I log in to if I ever need to run over there really fast and get on top of it. But most of the time, I start my day getting to the computer 8:30 or 9. I'm in front of there between like 5 to 6 p.m., but then I'll try to space it out, like gap it, and like, you know, take group for walks and things like that, because like I gotta get myself out of the house.
I was about to ask, I would go insane. What do you do to combat like that isolation of you're just by yourself? You have to motivate yourself to work and get things done and not get distracted in a world that is just abundant in distractions at your hand. What on earth do you do here all day? Yeah,
that's like the biggest thing, because let's say, for example, when I'm on the phone all day long and I'm not in front of anybody, and when I get off the phone, I look around and I'm like, holy cow, I'm all by myself. Like, who knows if that was really a real person? You know, like if people say it's like, is reality real? I'm like, I don't know if this person was real or not, but I just sold them a policy. But, you know, definitely putting myself in other areas to work. Like, I like going to the coffee shop. That's like the biggest thing. And, you know, I'm not talking to people around me all the time. I hear other conversations, and it reminds me of from like when I was working at the restaurant, when I'd be bussing tables right when I first started. I used to just like eavesdrop on people's conversations as I was cleaning. So it's kind of like a TV show. You're like, oh, I'm just listening to this show, and I wonder what happened next. And I just connect to things like that, and very fortunate that we are able to go outside and not like getting locked in like COVID and like, no, you can't go there. And I'm happy that people are finally starting to see that like they can go outside again, go to the store. And like, I love going to the store every single day. That's the thing. I pretty much go to the grocery store every day, just because like it helps me get out of the house. At least like 4 days a week, I just like go. And sometimes I don't even buy anything. I just go in there and I just buy an Olipop or whatever, and just make my day out of that, and just see people. You know, I think that's really awesome.
Nice. I love the grocery store.
Yeah, the grocery store is the best.
Good vibes. Good vibes in there. I like that. Right on. What path do you want to go down, brother?
I don't know. I was going to ask you, like for your day and everything. I know that, you know, you make beautiful jewelry out of seashells that you find in Hawaii. So, like, how do you start your day from, you know, waking up in the morning, working out, obviously because you work out all the time, but finding time to do the stuff that you're passionate about?
Yeah, I definitely don't start with it for sure, like any form of work or anything. My whole first half of the day, at least, is just me time, whatever I want to do. An hour of it will be going to the gym or going to the park, getting a workout. I think no matter where you are in life, like getting a sweat. Sweating is so good for you. It just clears your mind. Your body feels better. You're like, oh, I did something. I accomplished something. Like, I'm not a lazy, worthless piece of shit, which is tough, but like that's how tough your mind talks to yourself. So like that's why I do it, is to beat that. But also for me, it's like a rejoicing, because I had an injury when I was 17, and I couldn't work out like that. I was in a brace for 3 months. I broke my back, my L4. And so now it's like, I'm so excited to move and jump and do these things. Like there may be that vain aspect of it still, where like, well, I like to be stronger than people. I like to look better than people. But more than anything, it's like, no, I'm just so excited. Like, I put my headphones in, I put my music on. I was like, I just love doing this. And that's going to be something I do every day.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anyone as happy as you are, just like doing your day.
It's so fun.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, yo, this guy is freaking awesome.
It's so fun. And I think it should be. I want everyone's day to be fun, but to have that freedom to have that fun.
Yeah.
I think if you taste it or experience it or learn something you can do to have that, it'd be hard to go back from that. or to like just abandon it.
Mm.
Because then you'd be like, oh, well, I used to be having so much fun. Why am I not having fun? And I think it's important for sure.
I know you got to keep that fire in you all the time. And when I see you happy all day long, you definitely pass along that energy to me. It makes my day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, like Lulu is always doing something and doing something productive, like working out, even going to play pickleball, like doing things like that. Like we need to do something. And people always think about so far ahead or what they didn't do in the past. And when I start seeing like it's all about the present.
Yeah.
And that's the greatest gift is like what we can do right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no wonder it's called present and present.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, how you mentioned all those things to do is because like I'm not just always happy. Like I would love to be that, right, and have that joy, and I try to or strive to, and I want that. But it helps to have those habits. It's like, no, I know that I love these things. Go do it, even when you don't feel like doing it, right? Like you have to be dedicated to it, like committed to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I woke up, I'm feeling a little tired. I'm not gonna go eat ice cream or like something I know is gonna make me feel worse. I was like, stick to what I know is gonna energize me and make me feel great. Go get a smoothie, go get an acai bowl or whatever it is, and it's like, oh, this is what I like. This is what I like. Put on those songs you like. Go to that park you like. Sit in the sun. Read that. Like there's so many things, whatever it is for you, whether it's drawing or baking, you know, there's so many different things that you can like or love. And it's like, if you know that you love them, it's like, don't ever stop doing them because you're sad or don't feel like yourself. It's like, that's going to get you right back to where you need to be. So the more of those things you stack into your day, the more like bulletproof you become. And
yeah. And like if you push it away, it's harder to get back to it too and find that rhythm again. Yeah. And like I think that's like the biggest thing that a lot of people do is like they lose the things that they love and they're trying to fulfill themselves with trying to make money and trying to work hard all the time instead of like really going back to look at the things that they really enjoyed in life. And you know, like when I see you, I'm like, this guy is like the best man child of all time. Like you're very responsible, you do everything right, and I'm like, he's still having fun with it, and you're passing that frequency on to like other people that's around you. And I think that's amazing.
I appreciate that compliment a lot. I definitely feel like a man child, especially if I'm hanging out with little kids, because they'll look at me and sometimes they've even said it. They're just like, oh, you're like the biggest kid ever. And I'm like, good. Like that's what I want to be, because we're playing the same, we're talking the same. Like if you start screaming, I start screaming. If you're laughing, I'm like,
oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like kids know how to have fun. They don't care about anybody else, because they don't have those things to worry about or those pressures, and so they're truly free. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's so fun. Like I love people like that, so I love kids, and I love that sort of play, you know.
Yeah,
it's really healthy, I think.
You definitely have to keep that inner child inside of you all the time, and just learn from the things that from the past when you're a kid, that you know that the things that you did wrong all the time. And when I hear about being born again, it's kind of like you realizing what you were doing wrong, but you can still be the same person who you are like today. And that's, I always just say all the time, like, oh, I'm like Peter Pan, I'm never going to grow up. But at the same time, you got to grow up sometime. But like you still keep that energy inside of you and not be a boy. You just be a man child. Yeah. Yeah. If that makes sense.
And you can have like the self-mastery of knowing when the man needs to come out, right? And so like it's there. It's just like for specific times. And I think that's important too, is to have the balance. Because if you're just like a la-da-dee-da Peter Pan boy hopping around, it's
wearing Spanx.
It's going to shoot itself in the foot pretty quickly. Yeah. People are like, oh, like you might need to actually go to a psych ward.
Yeah, so. Pretty much, yeah. And that's like I see that like with some people going to like music festivals and concerts, like they want to keep that lifestyle forever.
Yeah.
And when I think of like Peter Pan and you look at all the characters in there, they're all wearing like pajamas. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of funny if you go to a music festival, they all look like they're wearing pajamas. And I think there's a time and place for a lot of things, and I've said that before on my podcast. And I don't down all the people who go to music festivals and they want to escape for those 3 days and they want to be like a fairy. I want to be like a fairy, but then they're just chasing something that they're trying to chase.
That's it.
And they're going to like 5-10 music festivals a year. And
yeah.
I'm like, whoa, that's just 30 days you just spent going to a music festival. Yeah. You could have been bettering yourself in a different way.
Yep.
And you might appreciate it more if you go less.
Yeah, absolutely. And that has been my single biggest aversion towards any type of drug, is to be, up close and personal with it, where my friends or roommates or whoever are doing this and doing that, and having like the best experiences, even when they're having good experiences with who knows, mushrooms, acid, coke, whatever it is, right? They want that again. All they want is to get back to that. And I'm like, I don't want to just be living life craving, missing that thing, you know, chasing that dragon, like you said.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to try to figure out where my life feels that good or as good as it can or close to that. And I think the only way to do that is to not have these substances or like mind altering things
that turn on those serotonin levels and
Yeah,
everything in the body,
like-
because like we already have it in our body.
Yeah.
And what it's doing is just triggering it to turn on and everything. I'll never down mushrooms because like they grow from the ground, but like at the same time with like Molly, acid, all that stuff, things that are made in a lab. And like that's like the scariest thing. Even like weed nowadays is like becoming so concentrated. They're putting like different type of things to make it grow stronger and stuff. I'm like, that's not the same weed that grew out of the ground. And like, because back then it would be like 5 to 10% THC levels. Now we're going up to 25 to 30
Yeah.
to 40. I'm like, you guys are insane. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not the same stuff.
Right.
And they can preach all day long and say, yes, it is. I'm like, dude, that thing is a Christmas tree. It's literally lighting up the whole sky. And everyone can see it.
Yeah.
And it smells loud. And it's just like, oh, where's
Yeah.
this at?
Yeah, and that's all over my head too. I've never smoked weed either.
Yeah,
or
I know, that's the
taken-
craziest
taking
thing.
gummies, but then like people assume obviously because of the way I look, and they've like come up and like placed orders for like all kinds of drugs. They're like even like in the streets of Hawaii and whatnot. They're like, yo, I need this. Like people, tourists, you know, tourists aren't the brightest. They're coming there. They're on something the whole time. They're drunk or something, you know, they're in vacation mode,
Yeah.
hardcore. And they're just like bumping into you in a busy beach or whatever. It's like, yo, can I get this, 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 and this? And I'm like, nah, man. It's like, wrong dude.
You should just
Wrong
give
dude.
a bag of sand.
Right.
Go collect some palm tree leaves and like put it all in
Yeah.
a bag. Like, here you go. I got some good trimmings for you.
My buddy and I, we made up one, and we called it Promethadil. And like we just pretended like it was these pills. And we never like actually would sell it to people, but like we'd get them to where they were ready to buy it and then be like, hey dude, like don't be an idiot. Like we just made that up. Like this is so dangerous.
Oh my gosh.
Like don't do that.
Yeah. Like I think over there they call it like ice or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty wild. Like you see like little bags everywhere in certain areas. I'm like, oh, that's where it was.
Yeah.
And,
Woof. Wild.
yeah, I'm so happy I never got into like anything like that. You know, I've always did pretty much everything I've done was organic besides like acid.
Okay.
Yeah, like I
When-
learned
how old were you when you first tried something?
when I first started smoking weed, I was like when I first tried it, I was like 15, and I didn't start really smoking weed all the time.
Was it from somebody? Or
Yeah, like friends brought it to my house and everything. Smoked it like in what's it called, in my attic and stuff like that.
Okay.
And they brought these girls over. They wanted to smoke weed, and
It's the girls, man.
yeah, it's always the girls.
And that was my
Eve,
first
dude.
time
It's always
drinking,
Eve.
dude. It was in. I didn't drink until college, and it was just because this girl, she's like, oh, can you like buy alcohol? And I was like, no, like we're both 18, like neither one of us can buy alcohol. And I like went and I stole some from my home. Like I poured some of my dad's bourbon. I was like, I'm looking back now. I was like, this girl doesn't want bourbon. Like she wants something else. I was like, but I was so dumb. And so I poured the bourbon into a water bottle, and then I like poured water back into his bourbon, thinking that he wouldn't know. And yeah, that's what I brought her. Like the next time we hung out, and that's what we drank.
Yeah, that's
So
wild.
my very first drink was bourbon.
Yeah, I actually didn't drink really until I was really like 22. I did drink like a few times, like when I was younger. My sister's friends came over, and I was trying to show off to them. I was only like 14 or 15. I want to say 15. And I grabbed a bottle of vodka and poured in chocolate milk. And the worst combination probably of all time. And I literally just like chugged like half of it, and I was like thrown up for 3 days, like having really bad alcohol poisoning. My parents even made me mow the yard during that, and made me never ever want to drink.
Oh,
And it was wild.
that's wretched.
Then one
That's
time I
wretched.
got in trouble on like when I was 18 or 19, and I had to be put on probation because I was at a party and I only had 2 drinks. I wasn't even drunk. I got in an argument with my friend and wanted to get out of the car because he wanted to go drive girls to Taco Bell late at night. I'm like, oh, this is
love Taco
stupid.
Bell.
I'm like, it's always the girls want Taco Bell. Taco Hell. Then that's pretty much, those are like really the only times I drank when I was younger. But I didn't really start drinking or having fun with it until I was like 22, when I started having a whole bunch of roommates. Because it didn't satisfy me or anything.
Yeah.
Like I was more interested in smoking weed and listening to music or walking through trails and having some really interesting conversations why people were drinking. And then I started experimenting with mushrooms and did acid a few times when I was younger. And because I was just more fascinated, like the person who made acid, it was like Albert Hoffman who created it. And just looking at how the day it was created, it was like on 4/21, they called it Bicycle Day. The guy was amazing scientist and got a lot of awards and everything. And it was just so crazy when he was experimenting with it, it like dropped on his hand and it kicked in. And he was just like having so much fun. He wanted to go grab his bike and start riding his bike miles. And it was like one of those big one wheel bike in the front and a little wheel in the back.
Oh yeah.
And this guy's just going to town. And so I was just like, oh, let me try this. But I really liked mushrooms because like you kind of, when you do more research into it, all it does is just increase your serotonin and dopamine and raises oxygen in the brain, and that's what triggers it. And I'll never say like, oh, go do mushrooms, go do that. But like if you ever do, just make sure you're in the right state of mind instead of like you're looking for something, because whatever you're looking for is not going to be the thing that you want to see. And it's just kind of fun and interesting in my opinion. But I haven't done it in a long time, and that's a great thing, and very blessed that I haven't done it.
Nice. Congratulations.
Even though there's a big mushroom right there that my dad gave me.
Speak of the devil.
He was like, mushroom man, here you go.
A little jab. Oh,
he didn't mind me doing mushrooms.
Really?
Yeah, no, he didn't. Because he looked into it, and there's actually really good benefits behind it. It helps out with people with like PTSD. I think we should give that to like the veterans and a lot of people who are going through a lot of big trials in life, or they're like traumatized in a lot of things. I think they definitely have to be supervised while they're on it and everything. And that's just my opinion, though.
Nice.
Instead of giving people ketamine and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
dude.
that's crazy.
Don't.
I'm like, you guys are nuts. You don't like. I think like anything that you can't really tell what it is, like say anything like powder substances, because it could be like mixed with other things and like even like meth and stuff like that. This all gets compounded and you don't know what it is. And that's like the scary thing, because now they put like fentanyl on things, and that's like the scariest thing. Yes. And I know people who passed away from it and stuff like that, probably, or other things. Who knows?
Yeah. Not the last, but one of the bigger fights I got into revolved around ketamine. And this girl's, like her childhood friend and high school friend, came to visit her in Hawaii, and like everybody was drinking, and then he like put it up to her nose, and she was like, no, and he like put it in her face again, and I was like, dude, I don't care I don't care if it's a fucking lollipop. Like,
you don't force anyone to do anything.
She says no.
Yeah,
it's no. I don't care if you're her friend. I don't care if you're her brother. I was like, nah, that just nothing about that is right. So, anyways,
I've seen that with a lot of people. Like they pretty much like motivate each other. They say no for a while, then they see everyone else doing it, and I'm happy I was never like one of those type of people who like join the party of those type of things. And because like I saw people drinking all the time, and I didn't drink, and I didn't start drinking until, like I said, 22. But it was like right after, you become legal to drink, and you start seeing people going out. And at first, I didn't even really do it because, like, when I turned 21, because like I was working all the time, I was trying to do other things, and people want to go out after work. I was like, oh yeah, I guess I'll come out with you guys and have a few beers. And I only drank beers for the longest time. Then I got really into like whiskey because I like collecting it and like it, not embracing it, but like understanding what the process was to make it, instead of like drinking like really cheap whiskey. I'm like, all right, that's good. no, heck no. But then I got older, that I didn't care, because I'm like, oh, it's all the same stuff.
Yeah, that's funny. I want to circle back because I said
sorry, got off there.
No, that's fine. This is just a random thing that was in my head where I was like, oh, it's always the girls, for drinking alcohol. And I was like, I want to circle back to that. It's like, because it's still our fault, but girls make us idiots because we become so obsessed, and that your brain, like certain parts of it just shut off. So absolutely not the girl's fault. It's still our fault. But I'm sure you could attest to that, where you just your brain functions differently if there's a girl you're interested in, and certain things don't click how they should. Yeah,
like I definitely think, like even like going out, and I used to think all the time like, oh, maybe I'll meet my girl at a bar or something like that, and it's, to me that's like not the case anymore, because like, why would you want to, you don't know who that person really is. Like My friend's grandmother used to say all the time, if you want to go find your future wife or future husband, just look in the produce section. And
I tell people that all the time.
You know what? Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, you see what they're eating and everything like that.
For some reason, people come to me a lot for like relationship advice or love advice. I'm like, yo, that ain't me. Like that's, I don't ever claim to be that guy. I was like, don't take advice from me. I typically don't like to give advice on anything. I was like, just go be yourself, live your life. But that's one thing I'll say jokingly. I was like, just go to Trader Joe's. I was like, see who's wandering around looking for something to make their own dinner. Like that already narrows it down to such like teeny market. I was like, and then just choose from there.
At least put something in your cart there when you're going around and having like an empty cart.
Yeah, don't just walk around like a creepo. Like be getting your own stuff too, and then being like, oh, let's go make dinner together, or whatever comes organically.
Wait, what do you got in there? You start grabbing the same things they grab.
Hey, let me follow you home. I was like, no, maybe not that one. I was like,
but hey, I follow you on social media. No, I follow you.
No, not that.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
That's a good clip.
That's funny. One of my other buddies was just talking to me, and he was like, all right, I got a girl question for you. I was like, okay. I was like, hit me. I was like, I don't know why you think I can do this, but all right, I'll give you my honest answer for sure. He's like, yeah, I just like everybody's perspective. I was like, okay. He's like, so I was talking to this girl, like texting kind of on and off, and it wasn't really like definite, it wasn't like for sure. It wasn't, we don't know. And then she told me that she's in her single season. And I was like, okay. And he was like, he's like, I didn't really like that. And And I was like, well, that's a lie. I was like, she probably just wants you to like take a bigger step, like to show more initiative in some way, or like make this decision for whatever y'all are doing. Like she probably just doesn't want it to feel like you don't know what it is. And I was like, I don't think any girl is actually in a single season. No girl is a kid. And she's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? She's like, I'm single. Like, I don't think that's true at all. I was like, I think that's a lie. Like it sounds like she either hasn't met the right dude or has met the right dude, and he's not acting how she would want him to act. Like that's what single season is. And he was like, oh, okay, interesting.
Like, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head, because like, when a girl says that, like I feel like it's maybe the complete opposite, and they want to see the guy who take the initiative to maybe be that guy, and instead of like, because like then he could maybe show the wrong cards and everything to her by her saying that. Yeah. And like to me, I started recognizing those things like a couple of years ago. I'm like, just be who you are and not be someone that like these other people were doing. Yeah. And
well, and I told him too. I kind of tied it into, because he goes to 1122 as well. I tied it into that, where it's part of that taking accountability and initiative, or making the decisions, because that's one of our roles as men, is to make the decisions. And I was like, even making the wrong decision is better than nothing at all. Like that's 100 times better than doing nothing and just being complacent. Whether it's choosing a place to go eat or anything, like do it. Be like, hey, we're driving to Chipotle. No, I don't want to go to Chipotle. Okay, keep driving. Go somewhere else. Hey, we're going to Applebee's.
No, you threw it out there.
You just keep going. Olive Garden, whatever, until eventually, and it's like, that's your job and that's your role. And it's hard sometimes for our pride to constantly like just get shot down, right? But that's not as important as like actually finding what the thing is. And that's like a silly example, but that ties to the deeper things too, where it's like, no, just do it. Like take the step. Like don't be scared to like fall on your face, or like her say no to something. It's like, that's better than not knowing, or just sitting there and being in that weird state where you're like, oh, maybe she'll text me. I'm like, that sucks for everyone. Don't do that.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot more guys being like a little bit low hanging fruit pickers instead of like reaching for the higher branch for a better fruit. And it's kind of like what you were just saying. Like you kind of just have to throw things out there and just see like what they're gonna say. And I don't know, like people are not really being more of a man about things. They're kind of just like letting the girl take over the relationship instead of like my buddy Cody said the other day, like this guy was just like a parrot on the shoulder. And this guy's just always on her shoulder and just like listening to her and not like she was the pirate pretty much. You know what I mean? Like,
Yo, someone today
I was like, whoa.
at pickleball asked me if I was dressed like a pirate. I was like, no, ma'am, this is just my attire. Like, this is just because some people were dressed up, you know, because it's Halloween. They're like, oh, I want to play pickleball in my costume. And she was like, oh, are you a pirate? And I was like, sweet old lady, no, this is just how I look.
Me every day.
Yeah, I was like, every day I'm a pirate, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you kind of get that pirate look. I just started thinking about it just now.
I laughed so hard. I was like, well, I guess that decides it. I'm a pirate.
Yeah, I guess, like, you know, if we go to some Halloween contest and they have, like, just dress up as yourself, you might win.
It made me laugh, man. That was funny.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, and what was I was gonna talk about how with making those decisions, right, and how a lot of times it's the wrong, but that's better than nothing, right? Better than just sitting there, is tied in as well to what Job was saying about taking a hit. Because if we're on watch, right, it's been the whole theme of being a man. We're on watch. We're on the wall. Our job as men is to defend anybody and everybody who can't defend themselves. I'm so passionate about that. That's another reason why I exercise and try to stay fit. Is like, I want to be able to do that physically as well. And how sometimes it's a fight. And in a real fight, you get hit. Like, you're not going to just walk away with nothing. Even if you win the fight, you're going to get hit. And that is what I was telling this buddy, is like, now that I can have a perspective where I am in a relationship, is like, I'm going to take hits. It's not all roses and daisies, honeymoon phase. Oh, we're so happy all the time. You have to sit there and take hits sometimes, because girls are emotional creatures. Like, things change. Sometimes they react. Sometimes things that don't seem like a big deal at you at all become a big deal, because we deal in like truth and facts, and like we want to solve things, right?
Yeah.
And they want you to just feel it for a second. But I was telling him, I was like, so you take all these hits, and it's the only time in our life where we're not supposed to hit back. It's like everything has trained us to hit back, fight back, be a man, right? Mm-hmm. And then the ultimate test of being a man is to not hit back. And I'm like,
it's kind of learning how to take the hit too.
Yeah, and even as a metaphor, I've never hit a woman, obviously.
What?
Like, ever. Like, but as a metaphor,
hit her with kindness.
It means being silent, or it means not going to that level, or just sitting there and being like, okay, yeah, I hear you. And it's like, that takes a hit to you, because you have these three things in your head where you're like, oh, well, this would prove this, or like this would make you know that you're wrong or stupid or whatever. And it's like, no, that's not important. Like, you care about this person. Like, what? It's more important to love them than to prove that you're right. And oh my gosh, I think that's so hard for pride sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like when you're trying to prove that you're right, you lose automatically, because they're just going to put up a shield also and try to defend themselves. Yeah, and it's just going to go back and forth. Mm-hmm. Like, I think if we go to like anxiety and everything, like I pretty much stress with that all the time, just because like I put myself in these situations, like when I'm all by myself, then I feel comfortable by myself. Okay. And then like when I want to get out of that box, I'm like so anxious, it's like insane. And that's why, like, with social media on things, and I feel like a lot of guys can relate to this, they see someone's story and you want to talk to that person, and you're putting yourself out there. I'm like, oh, they posted a story, let me see what I can say and try to create a conversation and everything from it. And then that person doesn't respond back. You're like, what am I doing? I'm like, why did I send that? I should not be sending those things, and like let the person just like do what they're doing, having fun. And because I would want the same exact thing, and I'm just bored all the time at my house because, just say for example, just because I work all the time and I don't interact with so many people, and that's why I'm so happy. Now I got 2 roommates, and like before it was only one. The person's gone all the time, and then having someone always in the house, because working all by yourself all the time, like, it's just completely different. Yeah. And that's why I love going like to the groups and going to church, and I'm surrounding myself by good people. Yeah. And like when they say like you are who you hang out with, and that's I think that's totally 100% true, because if you put yourself around people who are drinking and doing drugs and doing things like that all the time, you're going to be doing those things eventually. And you're not really going to motivate each other. Like my buddy John, we were out earlier today getting a cup of coffee, and he doesn't drink at all. I just did the Sober October thing, and we were talking about like hanging out and not drinking tonight and just go walk around the town and see what's going on. And he was saying like one of his friends and stuff was like, come on, man, it's fine to drink. Like, just just drink sometimes. I'm like, well, that person just wants you to drink because they have someone to drink with.
Yeah.
And then they have something that they want to get off their chest. And I'm like, oh, I wish I wasn't drinking. I'm like, you just made me drink.
Yeah. Yeah. We're adults now. If your friend is ever trying to like convince you to drink and you don't want to, it's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Come on now. We're not in college anymore.
Exactly. You're not like going to a party and everything. Like, we're actually living real lives. And that's why like, I like not drinking because I've been finding myself more productive and not putting myself in this like weird cycle.
Yeah.
Because like it's like messing up your engine in the body, and like say like if you drink a lot or even drink a little bit, you don't feel the same for 3 days. Then you put yourself in that situation 3 days later and drink again. So you're just putting this endless loop all the time.
Yeah.
And for me realizing that after 1 month of not doing anything whatsoever at all, and finally having like a really clear, sober-minded, I was like, okay, what's the next step? Like, is this the first trial? Like, now I got to keep on doing it, but now I got to do something better. Like, say, like working out and everything. Like, if someone wants to work out but they're drinking all the time, I say try to go sober for a whole entire month, fast maybe for a couple of days, clean out your liver, cleanse it.
Yeah.
And then, like, what's the next step?
Yeah.
Don't put yourself down that step. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now you just put your back down the pedestal.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I'm like, okay, now I want to start working out, running. This one person, really cool person, was talking about like running a marathon, and she said, I think you'd be really good in it. And I was like, oh, what? I'm like, me running a marathon.
To clear things up, he would not be really good at it.
I would not be. Like, I would probably just throw up. I would probably just keep on going and throw up on the next person.
Yeah, but we can get there.
Yeah, we can try. Good thing it's got 4 months.
Runner, but,
but like, that's like putting that challenge in front of you, and that was like the hardest thing for me working out, because I'm like, what am I working out towards? Like from growing up and everything, like when you're wrestling and playing baseball, like you're trying to not have an injury as you're playing a sport.
The two sports you did, wrestling and baseball? Okay.
Then like even like riding horses, like that was like one of my very first big passions and stuff. Like you pretty much had to strengthen your legs to be able to control a horse. And like if you had like I don't know, like threads down there, you're not going to move that horse whatsoever at all. That thing's just going to move you. And you got to let that horse know that you're there. But you build muscle very fast at doing things like that because you're constantly doing it. And it's like a bricklayer. They're going to have very strong hands and strong forearms after 2 weeks of doing it. Yeah. Like it's crazy. Like after doing a couple of squats with you that one day, then doing the next day, I was like, wow, my jeans are actually starting to fit me a little bit more. I'm like, I'm starting to think I can maybe run this marathon after 2 or 3 days. And like, that's the mindset. You got to keep on fueling the fire. And I even text that person. I was like, this might sound crazy, but I think I might actually do this. And I might actually try it. I might not do it. I might kill myself by doing it, but I'm going to die trying.
Nice.
And
that's important.
But you got to just stay consistent. And if people can stay consistent with it, they're going to learn something. It's like playing the guitar. If you just do like 10 minutes a day, you're going to be way better than you thought like from a month before, and you did it every day for 10 minutes a day.
Yeah. I like that. I wanted to circle back to your, when you're talking about drinking, and about like why you don't, and how like the peace that can come with it, because that's a huge thing for me. And it's, was just in this last, Joby mentioned at the last sermon about how for a man, when you enter a room, does peace come with you? And I'm like, that's the end. That's it. Like the sermon can be done. That is the most important thing that I've heard ever.
And what do you look like to that person when you're walking in that room?
Yeah,
and everything too?
Regardless of who it is, your mom, your girlfriend, your wife, your sister, as your presence becomes part of their presence, your circles combine, what do they feel? And I'm like, that's so true, because if you're raised with alcoholics or someone who's struggling with abuse of any sort of substance, and no peace comes with that. Your dad walks into the room, you're like, oh gosh, what's going to happen? I probably did this wrong. Mom's going to get yelled at. Somebody might get hit, whatever. No peace at all comes with it. And I think that sometimes that's the best way to learn what you want to become, is to see something that you need to unlearn, to see something that you don't want to be. And that's huge for me, is even if I have a drink, like one drink a day, or I'll take the whole year off, regardless of where I'm at, I'm not getting drunk. I'm not getting plastered. I will never let it affect my peace, because it's one of the greatest gifts I can offer, is that if you're around me, we're safe. Because I'm safe, you're safe. And I was just so passionate about that. When Joby said that, I was like, oh, yes. I was like, yes.
No, it's totally true, because like if you do drink a lot and say like go out and you see a person who just does it consistently, and you might not feel safe with that person because they're going to make a fool of themselves and maybe start an argument with somebody else.
No matter what kind of drinker they are, even if they're either like a happy, rambunctious drinker or like a fighter, like there's never one who's like, oh man, I'm so peaceful. I was like, I've never met a peaceful drunk in my life.
No, they're always like doon, like either up or very down.
Something's happening. Yeah. It's not like, oh wow, let's make art.
They're not doing yoga and drinking.
No chance. Definitely not.
Well, yoga and wine. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, maybe a glass, but not if you're turned.
Yeah, drinking a whole bottle.
That's
the thing. I like wine, but then you start looking at like the things that they put in, like the preservatives and like the sulfites, and that's what really causes like the biggest headaches and the wine hangovers. And if you do get a wine, it's called the Daily Red. It's got no sulfites in it. It's like $12 or $13 a bottle, and you have to finish it though that day because it's going to go bad the next day.
Interesting.
So it's good to drink it with somebody. It's not meant for you to drink it by yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what's kind of really good about it and everything also too. But keep on going. What else you got?
Oh, so I just flipped to see this most recent sermon notes, and I wanted to see how you felt, because I know we were there together, about the story Joby shared about the pastor who just lost his son. It was the very first thing he led with. I think you were already in there. It was at the beginning of the sermon. Because I started crying uncontrollably for like 30 minutes. The whole first part, I was like, I didn't sing any of the songs. I was just standing there, and it was just this sadness and darkness that was so, I don't know. I was like almost confused why it felt so personal, because I don't even know the person he mentioned. I just started going there. I was like, I don't even know these people.
Yeah.
I was like, but this is the saddest thing I can envision right now. And so I was just curious how it made you feel, and then if you had any response to it, or yeah.
I felt really cold, like when it happened, when I heard that, because one of my old friends and everything from high school, he actually just offed himself during like a suicide awareness month. And it was just very interesting because like I was off social media a lot, and the first thing I go on, I see that. And when growing up and everything, one of my friends I went to kindergarten with, Rob, he offed himself and everything in high school, and it just made me felt like they just went right through me when I heard that. Yeah. And to me, like, I lost a lot of friends from not just from that, but like from other things. And it just, like, nowadays I just get really cold. I it's hard for me to cry at that stuff anymore. Like, I still tear up a little bit, but it's like I've numbed myself down from it so much. And I'll never forget one of my very first friends who passed away, named James Normile. I was crying for like 3 weeks straight. And he was like in my PE class. I saw his family. His sister Gayla, I would call her still one of my really good friends and everything. And it just saddens me because they went, they lost like another family member previously from that too. So you kind of see like the domino effect it causes on people. And the whole school was not the same, like throughout the rest of the year and everything. And it stinks. Yeah. Like one of my good buddies growing up also, like my best friend, he was 4 years older than me, but like he was like an older brother to me. His name was Larry. And he pretty much, I don't know if he like overdosed because he was on like painkillers, I've heard, and then he just didn't wake up. And it was one of the hardest things because like two of my best friends were there. We were at his funeral. And I just remember like my buddy Cole just saying that like, dude, we just lost our brother. You know what I mean? Like, this guy like took care of us. He was always there if we ever need him. He'll just go fight somebody if we needed him to. If they made fun of us or something like that, he would go stand up for us, even if he was going to lose the fight. And that was just like, well, I just think about those type of things when that happened last night. And I wrote down the prayer card, wrote down my prayer and everything to his family. And I didn't really hear the parents' names and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think the kid's name was Brennan or Brendan, and I just wrote down on there. I said I believe one day like you're definitely see him again. And when people say like, oh, if you kill yourself or whatever, you're gonna go to hell. I'm like, I don't think that's true at all. It's the world who brought him down. It's not God who brought him down. They always say this is devil's world, but God, this is God's earth, and they changed the name pretty much of it. And that was another reason why I was getting like depressed during my podcast too, because I was seeing a lot of things that were happening in the world with people like arguing between like politics and religion. And I started seeing like a big social divide. I was like, wow, we're not the United States anymore. We're the divided states. Mm-hmm. And I was seeing like how the human body is. Because like if things are fighting each other, you're going to cause inflammation. Then it's going to cause cancer. Then the cancer is going to kill you before the cancer, before you die.
Yeah.
The cancer is going to kill you before it kills itself. It's just a succulent. It's just going to suck everything out of you. And it's like, it just becomes like a big thing and it just pops pretty much. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but
no,
I think I'm right.
I like that metaphor for sure. I wrote down on my card as well, and I told him, I kind of just felt the need to describe myself. I was like, hey, this is like what I look like, and I've been weeping for 30 minutes. I was like, I'm sitting here in a room full of people dressed in church clothes, and I'm just a grown man weeping. And I was telling them, this is sadness, like this is darkness, and I don't understand darkness. I don't. That's been one of my biggest struggles with my faith, is I don't get it. Whether it's suicide, hunger, rape, natural disasters, whatever it is, I don't get it. And then I was like, well, and I also wrote down, I was like, but the Lord transcends understanding. And I'm like, that's so hard to grasp. And after I wrote that, I was like, I hate that, because I like to understand. So I'm like, I'm mad that the Lord transcends understanding, because I want to understand. I want to know why this happened. I want logic. I want to, it's, and that's not the point. The point is to just sit there and feel it. And I was like, oh, and I was just so sad.
Yeah, sometimes it's like good to not to know and everything too, because people used to say like, once you know the truth, you're not going to want to know. Yeah. And I really blame, suicide and everything nowadays. It's just like the media, and then it's completely the opposite of what their parents are saying and everything also. So you're like, we're fighting against screens all day long, and that's why I always feel like we always have to pay attention to things right in front of us. And like when I was getting very big into politics and like, health and everything, you start seeing like all these things, and it's not worth to create an argument and putting things in their face like, hey, look at this on my phone, you're wrong. And you couldn't remember that, but you had to pull up on the phone to show it to the person. And I just feel like that's not how life should be, and that's just my opinion, because like if we can focus on the now and the things that are right in front of us, then we can create a beautiful garden. And it just starts out with just a little bit of seeds, and I think that's what like bearing fruit it really is. Like when they say like you gotta grow roots to be a tree and be a strong tree, and to like be able to know how to absorb the water, then you start to grow branches, and you grow fruit from your branches, and then that fruit's got seeds, and you are able to pass on that seed to the next person, and then they can plant that garden from the values and everything. And that's how I kind of started to see like now what God really meant from like of something like that. But because he says you don't judge the person by what they do, or when I judge them by their fruit. And like how they like, what are they giving to people? Like I think that's what like the tree of knowledge was really all about. Because they say like we have their phones nowadays, and we're fighting against these screens all day long, and fighting with people on these screens. And if you look on the back of the iPhone, you got an apple, and it has got a bite mark out of it, and you feel naked without your phone. You're like feel like you're lost, and then you're just like, what's going on here now?
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that though.
Yeah. Like, I saw that one day. I was like, damn, mushrooms, man. I was like really looking back over here. It's like, dang, this is the tree of knowledge.
That's crazy.
But
yeah.
Yeah, but I think like the biggest thing is pride definitely connects to it all, because they say like pride is the biggest sin in the Bible, and it connects to like, you know,
Pride is the devil.
Mhm.
J. Cole, come on. Let me get Jack on some rap music. Come on.
but like it connects to like anxiety, it connects to like laziness, because you want to be lazy, like it's you, then you want to be right all the time, and that's like the biggest prideful thing. You're doing it for yourself and not doing it for anyone else. And that's when you see like the things like in the Bible when Jesus was going against the Pharisees and a lot of the Jewish people, because they were withholding the word of God for themselves and judging everyone to be a sinner when they don't know the word of God. And I was like, whoa, that like, is it really a sin if they don't know it's a sin?
Yeah.
And I start really thinking about that, because like if they don't know the morals, then they don't know what they're doing wrong. And that's why we have judges and everything. But you can see like the guilt in them. Like, I had no idea this was happening. And then they see that person and like, he actually didn't know.
Yeah, that's tricky. If you genuinely don't know.
And they're just raised to like say like a lot of people in like the projects, they're raised to steal things or join a gang because that's the only way to survive in those areas. And the only like they're like, well, they can leave. I'm like, well, they don't have that many cars. They got a bike. You know what I mean? Like the only things that are around them are like McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, and there's only so much you can really move up from that. And that's why I'm scared of franchises, because I see like it more socialized, and you can only move up so far, and no matter how hard you work, you're gonna still get the same amount of the outcome from it.
Yeah.
And I started seeing that from my hometown. I'm like, we're opening up all these franchises. Everyone thinks it's great. Oh, this is it. Taco Bell, Applebee's, da-da-da, Chili's. Oh, there's a Chili's. And, and I love Chili's. No, I'm not really like Chili's, actually. But, like, when you start putting all those things around, you're not creating anything. Like when all the mom and pop places start closing down, then they're not taking it over. You know what I mean? Like their kids won't take it over. They won't learn family value. Like I don't want to say family values, but they won't learn how to work hard next to their family all the time. And I think that's like the biggest thing that we're losing right now. And when I see Florida, like, yeah, they have franchises, but they're not taking over a lot of the monopoly around here. And it makes me more appreciative for.
Yeah, I mean, look at just coffee shops
here
alone. We have like 57 different coffee shops in Jacksonville.
But they're all kind of like locally owned.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And not like Starbucks.
Each one is a different one, is what I mean. 57 different types. And they're like not chains.
Yeah. You can't be like, oh, that Starbucks over there is better than that Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's the same caramel macchiato. And they tell you exactly how to make it at that one over there.
That's funny.
But it's pretty wild. And I know that's why I feel like Florida is like its own like little type of country, because like it is like more like the wild, wild west, because like things haven't really changed as much as like the laws and everything. They try to keep it the same, but you can definitely see like how some people are trying to change other things. I'm like, let's just keep it less taxes as much as possible. Then we're not, because you don't know where all the money's going. I think that's like the biggest thing. Like that's the reason why there's write-offs, or like you donate money to the church, you can get like a tax break from the church just because you tithe. And at least you know where the money's going to. You know what I mean? Like, wow, I can tithe up to 10%, and that's a write-off or is it a tax break? And I'm like, well, that's pretty damn crazy. And you know exactly where the money's going. Kind of. If the church tells you.
Right.
Yeah, like my church told me the other day, I go to another church, Beaches Chapel and stuff, and they were doing like, I never seen a church ever do a breakdown, how much money they're bringing in and where the money's going.
Oh, yeah.
And their roof is like very old and it's leaking, and we saw it like one time during a sermon, and we're like, that's pretty damn crazy. I was like, damn, we gotta give them your roofer's name and number, and like and they were showing like what their plan is, because they haven't updated the bathrooms from like the 80s or early 90s, so like they gotta update the place.
Yeah.
And they were showing like what the goal was, and this is where all the money is going. And it all starts like with the person who's donating. And I loved when my pastor James said about like, oh, there are some people who just donate the things that are in their pocket, like spare change. That's like tipping God. You're like, hey, thanks God, here's a coin, you're the best. And instead of like being that woman in the Bible who was paying more than the richer guy in taxes, because she knows there was something there and stuff like that. And it's just like, to me, I'm like, whoa, that's very an interesting way to look at it, because like I'm not the best tither because I'm finally starting to catch up on a lot of things, but like I'm going to get to that point. I'm going to try to give more than what I can give, because like then it's going to go to something like a lot better than what I can provide for some people, because like they're preaching to people, you know what I mean? Like it's the most beautiful thing. And I want to start like one day like a nonprofit from like, say, like doing a podcast like this and telling people where the money is going to like these local churches, or say like the place that you go feed the homeless at, and things like that. I was about
to say, for me, it feels not safer, but better, more aligned to take the money directly and like be like, hey, you all gave me $300 this week, and this is what I spent it on. Here's the receipt, and I made 40 meals out of it, and I brought it to a pavilion, and everyone ate it. Like I was doing that for a while when I lived on Maui, because there was more of a consistent congregation of homeless people, hungry people, all in the same area. And my life shifted, and I got blessed, and I had a place to stay, right? And I had an oven, and I had things where I could cook. And I was just like, this just feels so right. If you can do that, then why not do it? And what you mentioned, where we were just at Mission House, doing a meal like once a month, and they do bingo, and it's cool because you actually sit with people and you have the meal with them, or you play bingo, right? It's not just like,
here's the food.
It's not just handing them something on the corner, which is really important too, because in the years that I've worked with people in need like that, the one thing that is the most consistent, like across the whole spectrum, is they're like, that was the most humanizing thing. You know, grown men are giving me hugs, crying, and being like, you sat down, you shared a meal with us. Like, we used the same spoon one time because I didn't have 2 spoons, and we just ate this thing. He was like, nobody does that. He's like, you treated me like I was a human. I was like, yeah, it's because you fucking are a human, you know? But it's true, though. I've done it, too, where you look at them, or they're dirty, or they stink, or they have something coming from the rolls, or they've pissed themselves, or whatever, and it's uncomfortable. And we love comfort, right? And comfort is the devil as well. But we love it, especially in America. And so you don't see people doing these things because they're uncomfortable. You don't want to sit for 30 minutes next to somebody who has pee in their pants, an adult, because it's not fun. It's not glamorous. Nobody knows you're doing, and it's just such a thing where I'm like, man, how do we do more of this? How do we normalize it? How do we reach more people like that? Because there are people generally that I'm confident would want to do it. It's just a thing where they might not know how to, or they don't want to take the first step, or it's like, oh, is it safe? You know, like so many different variables and questions. But it was really cool. Jay showed up, and I was like, how funny is that? Because I thought about this, and I was going to share at our little group meeting, but it was like the highlight reel of sermons, and everybody had so much to share that I was just like, all right, let's just, let it take its course. But I was like, our job, what I feel, is we're here in these little groups, our discipleship group, community group, whatever it is, to sharpen each other, right? To strengthen each other. I was like, and then to go out into the community. If all we're doing is this group work with each other, that's like a bunch of healthy people talking about the doctor. And it's like, you don't need the doctor anymore. Like you have each other, you have that strength, you have that health. Now you have to go out and like share it with people who don't. And I'm like, that's the point for me. That's the whole point. And I was like, how funny is it that Jay was the one who showed up, and this dude, he has a TBI, and I was like, it might be a risk every time he gets behind the wheel, brother.
Oh my!
I was like, this is the only guy who's gonna drive and show up. I was like, amen, man. We had so much fun. I didn't even really know him until that night, but we stood right next to each other as we served in the line. And we were cracking jokes, and he's witty. He's funny, man.
Oh, he's hilarious.
And
we watch football together sometimes.
It was just so fun. I was like, this is what it's about too. It's not just, oh, let me go help these people. Let me go serve these people. No, it's for yourself as well. It teaches you so much too, and you get to learn other sides of each other through being in this new scenario, new place where you might not be as comfortable. You're not sitting in a air-conditioned living room. Maybe you're sitting on the sidewalk. It's amazing how different you'll talk to somebody if you're sitting on a curb. You're like, oh, when's the last time I sat on a curb? Yeah. And like things like that change things in your mind. You're like, oh man, that's this person's life. They sit on a curb. They sit on the sidewalk. and they don't care, and
Yeah.
it's such an interesting thing. Yeah, that's a whole.
But then
nother-
they like, and they don't know how to go to the next step in either too, because like when I see a lot of people who are homeless and they don't have no one to help them either, like
Mhm.
or give them the motivation to, or they're just so like they're just so insulated they can't figure it out.
yeah,
And sometimes like from you going to Mission House, you being next to them and giving them joy a little bit, is giving them that spark. Like, man, there is a life out there. There is
Yeah.
people that are nice and they want to help me.
well, and you hit it right there. Is treating them the same. I'm teasing them. I'm cracking jokes with them. I'm slapping them around. Like some of them dudes are big, and I'm like, we're pushing back and forth. You know, I'm treating them as I would treat anyone else, and it's shocking at first for them. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I'm gonna treat you like you're my friend or my buddy. It's like if you say something dumb, I'm gonna say, yo, that was dumb, buddy. You know. And if it's smart, I'll say yeah. But it's like you don't like coddle them. Same thing for kids at a certain point. It's like the quicker you can start to treat them like adults and have that real talk with them where you're just like, you know, nurturing them, but then also pushing them into that way of life where it's like, oh, you can't baby everything or like try to sugarcoat everything, is because that's life.
And that's what, like, when I saw, like, in the Bible about Jesus having dinner with the sinners, the Pharisees would say, so why, if he is Lord, or, like, why is he sharing the same table as them?
Yeah.
Because he wants to look eye to eye with them. He
Yeah.
doesn't want to look below you. He doesn't want.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to down you.
Of
It literally
course he's sharing that
Yeah.
table with them.
like, what do you mean? Like, he's God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he wants to take care of all of his children, and all the like. It just mind blows me, because like when I was reading like in John, I think it was like John 16 or 17. I terrible with my chapters and verses,
Forgive
but I think it's 16.
Forgive him. That's the hashtag.
But like
Forgive
it literally says, like, at one point, I don't want you to be a servant. I want to see you eye to eye.
him.
And like I wanted to see you as like a friend, like as one, like I thought that was like the craziest thing. And I was like, whoa, that's just like the most beautiful thing. He doesn't. Hey, he wants us to bend the knee at him, but like at the same time, he wants us to stand up and hug him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He doesn't want us just to like, all right, I'm gonna go do this. Thank you so much. Go do your job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and once I started realizing that, it's like, that's the most beautiful thing. Like, no wonder a God would come down, act like a normal not act like a normal person, but put himself next to normal people, and instead of like coming down and just ruling over everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what they wanted right off the bat. And Pharisees were, well, look at us, we're doing everything right. He said, well, you're not showing them the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're just withholding it for yourself. And that's with greed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you see a lot of people who are becoming very successful, and they're doing it for themselves, and they're, you know, buying big houses, buying a boat, and they can, instead of buying a boat, like, you know, they can go do something else. Why don't you go rent a boat or go on a cruise, and you don't have to worry about taking care of the boat. Now you're just stuck with this boat.
Yeah.
And like, to me, when I go boating, I want to go fast, or I want to go fishing, and instead of just like kind of cruising around and doing your thing. And you know, for some people, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like, at a certain point, there's a lot we got to do for other people, and you know, that's why like I love learning about the Bible and trying to get close to others who are doing the same exact thing or wanting to do the same exact thing. Because my goal is, like, if I ever become a husband or become a dad, then I can see eye to eye with them of what they're going through, and be able to learn that stuff, and just be able to pass on the values I've learned, and so they can pass it on to the next person, or a friend who's having trouble from at home, and learn how to talk to them, how to not let them be a bully, pretty much, because you know, they're seeing their parents being a bully to them, or so they want to be a bully to everyone else. And I think like it really goes on. It's like eating the piece of bread of the blood of God and everything. Oh, I can't even talk.
Body of Christ.
But yeah, body of Christ,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just passing on that peace.
Mm-hmm.
And like Jesus literally said, "Peace be with you," or like, "I come in peace."
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, is this guy an alien?" Like,
Yeah.
but it's just like so beautiful. And like, I don't hardly know everything in the Bible, but like I'm trying to learn as much as I can. And it's great that we do have a great group of guys in the group who are wanting to do the things that like I try to do also. Like when I started doing like the accountability month and reading a chapter a day and going over it with each other every now and then, and like holding each other accountable and letting them know, hey guys, I'm behind also. So if you're behind, don't worry. Like, let's just get back to it.
Yeah.
And like, it's because I got ahead of it for next month. And I told them, say, hey, well, let's read the book of Isaiah. Let's do about 2 to 3 chapters a day because it's 66 chapters and there's more than 30 days. So it would have been, I was like, so let's start now. Then wherever we're at now, like, we'll get started next month.
Yeah. And that's cool. Like, I like that each of us has our different convictions, like what we want to do, right? Like I'm like, yo, I'm going to be on y'all's ass. Like, I want to get us out doing things in the community. I want us to go to Mission House and serve the hungry. I want us to go to the juvenile detention center and work with those boys who have no father figure. I want to, whether Special Olympics, surfing, you know, nursing homes, whatever. There's so many opportunities, and I think everyone has time. I think everyone has a little bit of time where they can find one of those and go do it. And it's like, now you have another thing that's a consistent thing you do every week with your brother. I was just like, yeah, well, it could be better. Like, it's a win-win. Iron sharpens iron, and you're serving, but you're also, it's so good for yourself. I was just like, this has got to be a thing.
Yeah, and you're not doing it as like a job. You're doing it out of joy. You're putting like your time out there because you want to. Yeah. And not just doing it as a checkbox.
Definitely.
And I see a lot of people.
That's it. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it at all.
Yeah, because that's a prideful thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I...
Sorry, you said pride. Triggered me.
Yeah, I know, right? Because like that's like the craziest thing. Like, when I do my job, I don't just do it because like I'm trying to make money in it. I'm also trying to help people like not get ripped off when they're buying a policy.
Yeah.
And I was just doing a policy earlier today, and I was talking to this lady. I was like, I can care less if you buy my policy. I didn't say that to her, but I was like looking at her policy. I'm like, hey, you're actually getting a discount on this when you're not should be getting a discount. So you're gonna get this discount now, but in 3 months from now, they're gonna look at that and they're gonna send you a bill, and that's gonna be the difference. Like,
I heard you actually say something similar to that on a call, and I was like, that's so good to let this person know that, hey, you know, even if you choose not to go with me and you go with this other person, make sure you're still looking out for them. I was like, the transparency and authenticity of that, I was like, you would have my business. I was like, I'm not looking for an insurance policy. I was like, but you would have my business, just because you respect that. And it's what I think someone's character would speak volumes to what you're looking for in any sort of business.
Yeah, I've had clients who didn't buy a policy from me and referred me out business.
Yeah,
I thought that was like the craziest thing. I was like, hey, he didn't do it for me, but he can do it for you. Yeah, I was like, hey, that's so nice.
Well, yeah, a lot of people just don't like change. Yeah, if they already have something, then it's trickier.
And sometimes, you know, like, I'm not going to be the best at every single one and stuff like that, but I definitely try to do the best I can every single day and not be lazy about it, and like, and answering the phone. I think that's like the biggest thing. And instead of like putting that person on hold or saying like, I'm gonna call you later, even though like I'm just sitting on the couch, you know, like, no, I'll get off the couch. I'm like, all right, this is another deal. This is my opportunity to show them that I can be their guy. Yeah. And I will do whatever I can to help them. And if it's like a service problem, I might not be able to help them, but I can guide them to somewhere that they can get help at. And my biggest thing with that call though was like showing her where the discount was, like on the inspection. Like, this is the first box, and it says yes, it says no, and it says unknown. And if it's unknown, it's neither. I'm like, wow, what does it mean neither? Yeah. And she saw that and she said, oh my gosh, like, but my agent was probably so busy. She's been so busy all the time. I'm so happy that like that I could just talk to you about this. Like, just talk, you know, like, and be able to spend the time and be able to do it. And I'm not trying to grow my business like a corporation. I'm just trying to take care of what I can take care of at a time. And if I'm being overwhelmed, I'll send it to somebody and I'll say like, hey, let's split if we can. If there's a lot of work into it, you just take the deal. You know what I mean? Just put a good word in for me. And it's awesome. I've worked with 2 amazing girls who are in South Florida. It's her mom and a daughter mom. And they're amazing. They're willing to help me out all the time, and I can't be more fortunate because, like, well, they're godly people too, and it's just kind of funny. Like, one day I was in a really big pickle, and I didn't have that much money, and because my roommate wasn't paying rent on time all the time, and for some odd reason, she sent me $40 or $50 to go get dinner somewhere. She's like, God told me to say, hey, thank you so much for giving me this deal. I want to give you $50.
Yeah.
And even though I didn't get dinner with it, I bought gas. I wanted to go get gas in my car. I was like, wow, I needed this today. This was like the craziest thing. And I was like,
that's cool.
Because I was getting behind on like the bills from the business, because even though I'm not in an office building, I still have overhead from it. Then like paying for food and paying for everything. And it's kind of like, holy cow, like I'm stressing myself out anymore. And that could have been from the acne, because I made a mistake and lost all my crypto for just gambling it away. And that was like all my savings. It was close to $60,000. I'm like, wow, I lost it all in a week.
Oh, wow.
Now that's like, but like at the same time, I always look back on the book of Job, because like right when I first got back into the Bible was when I just randomly opened up a book, and it was the book of Job.
Oh boy.
And I was
welcome.
I know, yeah. Hey, check this out.
I noticed you're back.
And I was like going through all these trials even at that time. And Job went through these things for years. And God made a bet with the devil and said he's not going to lose his faith. And it gives me a chill to this day, because I'll never blame God for anything. And I'm always, when I recognize that shadow was behind me, I would never want to lose that shadow. Like I can feel his hand on me. I feel like I'm in his hand. And it's kind of like a magic carpet ride. And he's like, don't worry. Some parts might be bumpy, but you're going to stay on this. And like Joby said the other day on his podcast, like you need 4 rug holders to keep you afloat all the time and keep yourself accountable. Someone you can be honest to. Like when I see like the things like in the Catholic Church, and you confess to like this person who's a big godly person, and you pay for a confession, or you just confess to the Father or whatever. And like, I think that's great, but I think they don't know you. You know what I mean? Like how is that person going to keep you accountable if you're not honest with somebody? Like say like I'll tell you things and things like that.
I was about to say it's so much more effective to have an accountability partner that you know, or that you respect, or that is your friend. You know, because like there's just you're not gonna like pull out your phone and watch porn right here next to me. You know, because there's a certain shame that comes with it, but there's also the respect that we have for each other. And it's like, that's a dumb example as well, but that is true. And that speaks to every aspect. Whatever you're going through or struggling with, it's helpful to not do it alone. So,
and for the record, I haven't watched porn for almost probably over a year and everything. And the biggest thing, I said it in the group the other day, like what made me really stop watching it. Like I admit that like obviously probably almost every single guy who is alive have seen it. And but when I was watching the movie like The Sound of Freedom, and when he said like that's God's children, and like then you start looking like that's someone else's child, and then you start looking at porn and start seeing like, well, what if that person was sex trafficked, and that's really not a person who's volunteering to do it. And then and you always felt bad after watching it anyways. I'm like, oh man, I just feel disgusting from doing this. And like for me having 2 sisters and everything, I would never want that to ever happen to them. And it's a big eye opener. And when we were talking about it a lot, some of the guys were like, damn.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know how you guys do that, but I was like, it's like the thing is that you got to know what puts you in those temptations.
Yeah.
And you know, being on Instagram and seeing these girls who, it's pretty much porn going on Instagram. You're seeing these girls in their bathing suits, just very close to underwear, and it's not like I'm not downing them at all. I think their body's beautiful. I think they shouldn't flaunt it for sexual desires. But like if that's something that they're working towards, you know, hey, that's what you're working towards. And like, you know, God wanted us to be naked in the very beginning, but like not to be a whore. Amen. You know, like that's
clip that.
Like it's just so funny. But no, I think that's like the biggest thing.
I like that you said, well, it's interesting how you were saying you feel bad about it after you did it, after you watched porn. Because 2 weeks ago, Joby mentioned in one of his sermons how if it doesn't feel like the enemy's trying to take you out, they might not be the enemy. And I was like, dang, that's wild, dude. Once it starts to not feel bad, like once you don't even second think it, it's like, oh, you switched teams.
Yeah.
You're
on the other
side now. You're way further gone than you've ever been, because now you don't even care. And I'm like, to be indifferent like
Yeah, you
that
numb yourself so bad.
dangerous.
You don't even know.
Yeah.
And like when we were talking about earlier about like the person's child who, offed himself and everything, it's not like I numb myself to that. It's like I've lived it so many times in different ways. Like I know how to be there for that person, like when they have gone through that. And that's, I was just trying to get stronger and stronger and stronger. I still feel super bad, and like I still do today. I would never have wrote on a prayer card if I didn't. And that's not just like me saying like prideful things or anything like that, but like it's like when someone says like you gotta be a man about certain things, and like if a person hasn't been through that, then they don't know that feeling. And it's kind of like what you're saying, like right there, like if you do it so much, you're not gonna feel it anymore. It's just gonna become like a burning desire for you all the time. And it kind of resonates to that and everything also, because like how are you taking it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to me, when all those deaths were happening in my life, I was trying to think like, how can I be, because my dad was strong. He was always there for me when it was going on. And I was like, how can you do this? Like, I was just trying to figure it out. Now I saw my dad cry a couple of times, but like, he didn't do it in front of us. He didn't try to, you know what I mean? Like things like that. And that's also a prideful thing too.
That's interesting, because I was gonna comment on that anyway. How you said to be a man about it regarding emotions, and I was like, well, men do have emotions. Like that's really important to feel them. I think if you're underdeveloped or you're a boy, that's when you can still be numb to something like that and just like, oh, I just want to like go with the flow, and then I'm like, that's really dangerous as well. I was like, because you know what kind of fish goes with the flow, right?
What kind of fish?
A dead fish.
Oh,
come on.
Yeah, that's true, because like when you see like carp and everything, they're swimming upstream and everything. I thought that was like the coolest thing, because like they're freaking swimming upstream, jumping over the stream, and just very neat. You have to swim through it, and I don't know, it's just very interesting. But no, we definitely do have to be stronger and not be so hard-hearted. You know what I mean? Like make our heart stone and still have an opening to feel that person who's going through those things. And it's very interesting, because like I feel like I was losing like all pain and emotion from when my ex-girlfriend and I broke up, because I felt like the whole world did it and everything. I was like, wow, like politics broke us up, faith broke us up. And I was just like really praying. It's like, God, why is this? You know what I mean? Like why, like when we had such a good relationship, then other things got in the way. Then we got so separated in our own little rooms. Like we were putting ourselves in a different room. It's like when,
like physically or
no,
okay,
no,
okay.
no, but like mentally,
y'all started staying in different rooms. I was like, dang.
But like, say for example, there was like this one beautiful piece of art I saw. It might have been, I never went to Burning Man, but I think they had it at Burning Man. They had two adults laying back to back, like they were like sitting down, and there was like two inner children trying to like grab each other, and they're trying to connect, but the adults are pushing them away. And I'm happy that I did go through an amazing relationship, and I went through those trials and everything with her, because like then for the next person that I would be with, I'm willing to listen and try. Like it's like Joby says, this is like one of the best things I've ever heard him say. When a girl is going through emotion, you don't answer it with a fact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You answer back with emotion. It's not like when she says like, oh, I'm feeling fat. Well, there's a gym right down the street.
Right.
You know what I mean? Things like that. Like, no, oh, you're not fat. Like, look at me. I gotta eat healthier too. And just like things like that. And it's so funny, because like I was on a date. I wouldn't even call it a date, but having a cup of coffee with somebody the other day. It was a girl, and likes working out a lot, and it's the things I've always wanted to do. And it's not that like now I'm getting back into working out just because of a person who's doing that. It's like, whoa, it's fueling the fire, because that's the fire I have in me. But like, it was just joking around. I wasn't joking around, but like, she was talking about something, and she was talking about like her weight while she was like working out and what her goals were. I was like, don't mind me asking, how much do you weigh? And she says, I'm 120 pounds. And I laughed a little bit. And I laughed because that's how much I weigh.
Oh.
And she said, you're not supposed to laugh at a girl like who tells you their weight. I was like, no, I'm laughing at myself. And like it like motivated me because I was like, just kind of funny like how we interacted and kind of met and things like that. I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna try to move along, like go along with it and see kind of what happens. And like just kind of really funny how things takes its toll.
Yeah.
And
Jack was like, next time you see me, I'll be bigger.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna be 5 more pounds.
That's funny.
Like like that type of stuff gave me like motivation for myself, not just because like that's what she's doing and everything.
Yeah.
And
I think that's really important too, is to not mimic or imitate anybody, but to see whatever they are excelling in and say, oh, what do I want? Wow, that's so inspiring. That's what I want to be to people, is inspiring, where they're like, oh, well, maybe I could do better in my business or in my health or whatever it is, where it might not even be something I'm good at. And they're just like, oh, but this person, he's so passionate about that thing. Maybe I can find that passion in this aspect of my life. Like you were just talking about with that girl. I was like, that's cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, because like I always was having those thoughts in my head because like I'm working out all the time. I already know a lot of things about health and probably eat more healthy than the average person does.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Things like that. And it's kind of like I said earlier, it's about taking the next step and doing it more consistently. And instead of just like doing it a little bit, then you're like, okay, I got enough.
Yeah.
Like I think that's when people say like, I got enough. I'm like, there's no such thing as enough.
It's just a lifestyle. It's not like you need your quota of healthy food.
Exactly. Like, well, that's what some people do. Like, oh, well, it's like going to church. Like, okay, I went to church that one day. Now I can do the sinful things again. And that's not what I want to do. I don't want to just work out one day and just like, okay, I did it for the week. Haha. Or just things like that. And like seeing a girl like that who has her head on her shoulders, who's got strong faith and is working out all the time, and it shows you like, whoa, that's like the girl I've always been wanting to look for. Mm-hmm. And who knows if it's her or not. I always say it's on both sides of the stick. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of funny because it's just hilarious.
What do you mean both sides of the stick?
Like you both have to decide if you want to be with that person.
Okay.
Like a lot of people who just look at people for looks, then it's not going to turn out the way how you thought it was going to turn out later in life, because you just looked at the looks instead of like looking at the person and really what they're doing. And
and guess what? There's a lot of good looking people out there.
Yeah.
That's why it just doesn't work, like you said. At least not over time, anyway.
And then you look at their mom and see how their mom looks.
Okay, whoa.
I'm just kidding. Hold on. I kid. Not really.
And we're back to Trader Joe's.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's funny.
But no, like I feel like that's with everybody. You have to, if there's a girl who's doing the things that you've always wanted, that you have to follow that and everything. And it gives you the motivation to mirror that, because it's kind of like looking at the Bible, knowing the things that you do wrong, and you want to do the things that you want to do right. And but yeah, now I'm just ranting, but it's fun.
Oh, but it also connects back to what you're saying earlier about creating that garden. And it's like, she's got her own garden. Clearly, she's got all these things she cares about and is passionate about. It's not, oh, can I come into your garden? Can I hang out with you in your garden? It's like, no. You gotta make your own garden, buddy.
And maybe our gardens will cross paths and make a bigger garden.
Maybe the gardens get so big they become one. I was like, but you gotta have your own things. And I think that's the most important thing, is to have all of those things that make you who you are, where you are just being yourself. Because I've talked about this to my sister a lot for dating, where I told her, I kind of warned her. I was like, a guy can be anything he thinks you want him to be for a while, month, 2 months, 6 months. If you want a comedian, if you want, whatever he thinks is attractive, if he likes you and thinks you're attractive, he can become whatever he thinks you want. I was like, so watch out for that. Like, try to discover what he really is. See if you're attracted to the guy he was before he met you. I was like, that's the safest way to know who he is. What was he doing before he met you? Okay, it's cool that he comes to church with you. Okay, it's cool that he comes to volunteer with you. Okay, it's cool that he goes to surf with you. But is that his first time doing all those things?
Yeah, that's totally
Like,
true.
Has
yeah.
he never done that before in his life? And I was like, something to think about.
And that's why, like, that's why I'm really happy that, like, if I met a girl right now, instead of meeting someone, like, a year ago, of me being, like, inconsistent of a lot of things.
Yeah.
And, like, not really striving towards, like, my faith and trying to eat healthy and trying to figure things
Yeah.
out, like, that's going to work out for me.
Yeah.
And,
and you shouldn't want a girl who's attracted to that version of you. You shouldn't want a girl
fist away.
who's attracted to that version of you, who's doing whippets and going to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want that girl for you. You don't
Yeah,
want that
no,
girl
not
for
at
you.
all.
And it's like, okay, cool. You maybe got that, but you don't want that. Like you can do better for you and for what you're calling in. And so you gotta take care of you first.
Yeah, you can't
For
just
sure.
be chugging whipped cream all day long.
Watch out for that.
Yeah, no, I think that's why, like, being sober minded is, like, really the best, because, like, I told her the other day that, like, when I'm drinking, even though, like, I'm having fun, I am the life of the party, I see sometimes, and people see that, but the thing is, I'm not being who I am. I'm not really being the best influence of other people and stuff, and that's why I really want to get involved within the church and getting into youth ministry, like, and continue the path I'm on right now and not go back steps, and to continue walking up that stairway to heaven. And just like I said, like, everyone's got through trials, everyone's gone through some things, and some people going through worse things than others, but it's like the ones who are recognizing those things and knowing that they can do better. And I feel like everyone can do better if they just try, like, a little bit, and it just takes a little bit at a time. I saw a thing with the turtle on this one thing. It was like the turtle will eventually get to his spot, even though he's just moving very slow. And he's still moving the whole entire time until he gets hit by a car or something like that.
All right, you're losing me. But no, but yes, doing something. And I think that's really important too, is to not be so paralyzed by the fear of doing something wrong that you end up doing nothing, because that is wrong. Like, that's the most wrong, is to just do nothing. Whatever aspect of life you want to look at, I was like, do something. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's it for me.
And that's why I feel like people who are addicts and everything, they probably have the most talents, because they're consistent in doing that one thing. And if they can just flip it to something else, and it could be a big life changer.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been really addicted to drugs, but, like, or alcohol or anything like that, but, like, I was putting myself in situations that was always there. And that I was never a big fan of cocaine, never did anything like that, really. I've done it a couple of times, but happy that I never did it. I can say, like, I'm not addicted to, like, tobacco or nicotine, even though I like doing it. But not tobacco, but, like, ever since when I did tobacco, I was always drinking or not on the right set of mind. I wasn't sober minded. And people were so funny. They were like, "Whoa, how do you look so young?" I'm like, "It's the cigarettes." I'm just kidding around, but, like, just things like that. And I don't know, like, it's just, I'm happy that I did go through all those things, because, like, if I come across somebody who is going through that, and I can try to shed some light to them that there is something more out there for them. And like, I do wish I didn't do a lot of the things that I did, and especially hurt the people who I loved and everything, from saying certain things because I wanted to be right. And I think that's what sets forth a difference between a man and a boy, because a boy will just pout all day long until he wants something, until he gets it and everything. And even, like, a little girl and things like that too. Like, you gotta grow up and know what it takes to grow up and keep on growing. Like, people think, like, all right, we're done growing in height, so that means I'm done. But are you really growing? You will forever grow in spirit. You know what I mean? Like, and grow in your faith, and it's limitless. Like, when they talk about, like, eternity in the Bible, I'm like, this sounds like the craziest thing in the world. I'm like, how's there eternity? But, like, sometimes, like, you don't want to question that, and you just have to have faith.
Yeah.
And I think faith is, like, the best thing, because a lot of people say, like, faith is given. Faith is like, wanted. I mean, faith is earned, faith is given, and I think faith is wanted. I think you wanna find it. You know what I mean? You can't just, like, say, I got it.
Yeah.
No, you gotta keep on wanting it. You gotta keep on wanting to be better, and that's why, like, the best athletes in the world, they're constantly making those shots, and they're constantly running and training every single day, and that the ones who get the big contracts, then they're like, all right, I got it. I'm done now. I don't have to do this. And they lose all their money. Like, dang, I should have stayed consistent and been more humble. And then like things like that. And, I'm happy that I wasn't as bad as things, like a lot of people were going through. And I realized that I wasn't. And I just had to put myself in different situations. And, I don't want to scare people off from like me saying all this stuff. But like I was having a problem with myself and not a problem with the substances. I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to like really tell people of what I was feeling. I would always just putting a smile on my face all the time and acting like everything was fine. And then I would have like these like I wouldn't say breakdowns, but like I would just get very, very sad at myself. Like it was just super hard to move on from certain things. And and I just had to stop and just get better. Handle what you can handle right now instead of trying to handle things in the future that are not there yet, or try to handle the past things that you've broken and you can't put back together.
Yeah.
You can't put those things back together. What you can do is make another piece of art. And I think that's like the biggest thing. And that's what I'm doing right now, even though like I'm just doing whatever I can do right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so
That's all
happy.
we
You're
can
like,
do.
let's do a podcast right now.
That's all. Yeah.
Mike, let's do it. And that's actually I said, Lou, let's do it right now. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm tired.
I was like, I wasn't feeling it. I was like, but you're right. I was like, we should do it just to get it going. And came back from a beautiful day, beautiful walk. Like everything's just so. Oh gosh, I get so energized and happy by the sun. It's wild. Like I can just go and lay in it, literally, and I'm like a plant or an animal. I'm just like, it changes my whole mood. And so we went on that walk, and then I came back. I was like, check your schedule. Like if you don't have anything immediate to do right now, let's just do one. I don't know how long we'll sit here. We don't know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But it's that step that I was talking about where you just go.
And one day we can literally put all the stuff out in like the driveway and just sit in the sun and do the podcast out there.
A dream.
We'll just be talking till the sun goes down. Like,
Natural lighting's so much better for me.
this is wild. But no, this was fun, and we definitely got to do it more. And I really appreciate you asking me to do it.
Heck yeah. Appreciate you having it. Appreciate you being here doing it. Bang, bang, baby.
Till next time.
Remember, fuck pride. Huh?
Fuck pride.
Hey.